back, everybody, to another edition of MLB DFS Quick Hits, your Monday, May 14th edition. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and a great Mother's Day on Sunday. Ready to kick off another week of MLB DFS action. 8-game slate on tap. There's a day game, a makeup game in Atlanta at Chicago during the day, which we will not worry about. But your totals on the slate: Rays Royals 9, Indians Tigers 8.5, A's Red Sox 9, Mariners Twins 9.5. You got Brew Crew Diamondbacks 8, Astros Angels 8, Rockies Padres 7, Reds Gigantes 8. So the 4 games on the Arizona West, the West Coast, many would say, 8 or less. Everything else 8.5 and more. We got some interesting weather to take a look at in Kansas City between the Rays and the Royals. Blowing out to left field at 10 miles an hour. Chances of rain there. It's kind of spotty. It could get ugly or miss completely. Cleveland at Detroit, chances of rain as well. Seattle at Minnesota, chances of rain. So that Midwest is got a little storm going through it. And then Colorado, San Diego, wind blowing in from left field about 10 to 12 miles an hour. Cincinnati to San Francisco, blowing out to left field about 14 miles an hour. So some things to keep an eye on, especially that rain situation in the Midwest. It was a nasty weekend, and it hasn't quite left yet, so more fun to look at there. But it should be a fun 8-game slate. Let's bang it out for you real quick on your Quick Hits edition. Pitching-wise, you got Patrick Corbin up top at 12-7. Love Patty Corbin. He's been great for us this year. He's been losing velocity of late. I am not paying that price tag for that guy right now. If you want to in cash, I can understand it because it is a Brew Crew team that strikes out over 21% of the time versus lefties. I won't be going there. My top price guy is Carlos Carrasco. He should be the top price guy of many. 12,200. I said the last time out, I'm going to sit and watch because the back problems were a concern. Well, he was pure filth. 9 innings, 2 earned, 14 Ks through 117 pitches, and they were easy pitches. I got you 47 DraftKings points. Now, do I expect that result again? No. Not a chance. I am a realist. But I expect a very good start. He's facing Detroit, a team who got 34 points against last time out. Struck out 6 over 9 innings, gave up 1 run, which is a solo shot. Ground ball to fly ball of 2-1. All the things we love to see. You know, the Tigers strike out 20.5% of the time. You got the K rate of Carrasco almost 28%. Everything lines up beautifully for Carrasco. A 3-7 Tigers team total. Lefties 308. Righties 289. Weather permitting, if the weather is good and they can get this one in, Carrasco at 12-2. Definitely the top option on the slate, price-wise. Next up, Lance McCullers at $10,000 for GPPs. I don't mind this at all. He's at the Angels, which is never, an ideal matchup. But at the same time, that Angels offense hasn't been like lights out dominant like it was earlier in the season. He hasn't faced them yet this year. But McCullers has that good swing and strike stuff. As long as he's not walking guys, that's always the concern with McCullers. The walk rate's down to 8.4%. He's got a ground ball rate of 61.5%. with a strikeout rate of over 26%, swinging strike rate over 12%. The guy's amazing. He is darn good. The Angels don't strike out a ton, a little less than 20% of the time. But McCullers has the goods. The Angels have a 385 total, lefties 288, righties 302. So McCullers at 10,000 could be a very interesting GPP play up top. So above 10,000, I got Carrasco 1, McCullers 2. Carrasco, to me, out of the 4 guys over 10K, I didn't even mention Rick Porcello. He could be great, but those Oakland bats, I mentioned it time and time again, pesky bats, especially against right-handed pitching, and I'd rather go to McCullers or Carrasco in that situation. And Carrasco, to me, is the guy. Now, when you drop down, I'm going to mention Sean Manaea because he's got tremendous GPP upside. It is a Red Sox team that does not strike out a ton, but this year they're up to 24% of the time versus lefties, so it's much more than it has been in years past. Some of their power bats really strike out a lot versus lefties. Manaea's got a strikeout rate of over 20% and a decent ground ball rate. Remember, last time Manaea saw these guys was in Oakland, and he threw a no-hitter. But they have Bogarts back and a couple key pieces back in that lineup, so watch out. Boston has the third highest total at 4.8. Lefties 274, righties 348. Since that no-no, he's been scuffling a bit. He threw one good start out there at Houston, and then it's been a struggle at Seattle, 4 earned in 6 innings, and then Houston 4 earned in 5 2/3 innings. So he's really hit the struggle bus the last 2. He's really, really good. So in GPPs, ownership will be tremendously low. I won't be going his direction. I think there's a couple other options I'd really like to go to on this slate. But I want to bring him up just for the fact we know what he can do against Boston. We know what he can do. But before the last 2 starts, it didn't matter who he faced. He pitched tremendously well. So it's just something to think about in those matchups on tonight's slate as a GPP play. But you got Joey Lucchesi, $8,100. Joey Lucchesi, $8,100. This young lefty's been darn good, averaging over 17.5 DraftKings points per start. Like all rookies, you get the hiccups. Some good, some bad. He's got 5+ K upside. Hopefully get you through 6 innings. Not always the case just because pitch counts with these youngsters. But he's facing a Colorado team that strikes out 27% of the time, and their offense is just bad right now. He's got a 27% K rate. The Rockies, you got to think about it, even in Coors over the weekend against the Brewers, who did not throw really any good pitchers out there, they didn't score more than one game. They just really have been bad. And on the road, they've been dreadful. They have a 3.45 total, it's the lowest on the slate. Lefties 248, righties 361. The Rockies just haven't been that good this year. So the Kessie at 81 is a very, very, very solid spot. But in that same matchup, Tyler Anderson's a duel of young lefties. This kid's been throwing it well over off and on this season. But going up against a Padres team, I like this a lot. Anderson's shown some tremendous strikeout upside. And this Padres team strikes out about 26% of the time versus lefties. Anderson's got a 23% strikeout rate with a swinging strike rate at 12.5%. So there's a lot to like there. The Padres have a 3.55 total, basically the same as the Rockies. Lefties 297, righties 319. So both these lefties are much, very, very good options today. Anderson's $600 cheaper. It's one of those nights, if you wanted to throw both of these guys, it could blow up in your face because these are two lefties we've seen be volatile or throw tremendous outings. You can throw them both and then just stack up all the bats, but I have another young, cheaper option I don't mind matching up with these guys. But these two guys are very much in play. I got Anderson 1, Lucchesi 2, and Manaea 3 from the 7 to 9K range. So 3 lefties there for you, 2 in the same game, Anderson, Lucchesi, and Manaea. Let's get down to the 6Ks and below. You got Junior Guerra of the Milwaukee Brewers. You know, this guy getting no respect, $6,000. He's had like one bad start against Pittsburgh. He got 3.3 points. Other than that, he's had 16.5 his last time out, and then 18.4 and above in every start this year. He's been very, very good. The strikeout stuff's been there. He gets you 5 or more innings in every start. So maybe that's why he's not as expensive. He's not going deep into starts. But the guy's been really good. Arizona strikes out 25% of the time. That offense just has scuffled big time. Goldie is ice cold. They might be getting Jake Lamb back here real quick, maybe even tonight. So that could be a big change to their offense. But still, 25% strikeout rate. He's got a 22.5%. Walks have always been his issue, almost 13% walk rate. And he gives a lot of fly ball. So those things can be an issue. He's not going to throw shutouts for you, but he's still going to get the job done. Even that game against his last time out, he got 4 earned. He got the strikeouts and still got 17 points. He's $6,000. These are things we can live with. The D-backs totals 4.3, lefties 342, righties 357. So Junior Guerra at 6,000, very much on the options down below. My favorite guy down here, though, the one, the only, yes, Sal Romano at $5,300 at the San Francisco Giants, a Giants team that is striking out a ton. Derek Carty still won't believe me when he says, well, the statistical data shows this team doesn't strike out a lot. Well, Derek, I hate to break it to you, but the statistical data, or future statistical data, doesn't always work. Because if you watch damn baseball and not your computer all the time, you see these Giants strike out a ton, and they swing and miss a lot. I watch almost every game. This is not the same Giants team from years past. They strike out a ton. And you got a guy like Sal Romano. He's got you 14.4 in 3 of his last 4, 22.5 in 2 of those 4. He's got double digits in 4 of his last 5 starts. He's $5,300. He will give up a couple runs. He can't give up the long ball. No sugarcoating that. We got Giants team with a 4.2 total. Lefties 328. Righties 307. A barely average WOBA of 304 versus righties. And a horrific ISO of 130. Would you be shocked if like Brandon Belt or some of those guys ran into him? No, not at all. But Sal Romano is definitely an option because the Giants, like I said, strike out 25% of the time. That is 3rd highest on the slate versus the hand that they're facing. 25% K rate. So it makes a really interesting spot. Romano almost a 50% ground ball rate for $5,300. I think he has tremendous upside. And, between Romano and Gary, you can match those guys up with almost anybody on the slate and get tons and tons of bats. The last guy I want to mention is Ryan Yarborough of the Tampa Bay Rays going up against Kansas City. He's one of their, he's their new Yanni Chirinos. Now that Chirinos has hit the DL, they haven't officially named him a full-time starter, but the strikeout stuff, 6 or more Ks in 2 of his 3 starts. He's got you 11.1, 22.7, 19.2 in his 3 starts. He's been very, very good. Does give up a couple home runs. He's not the greatest in that respect, but a Kansas City team is now striking out 23% of the time. And if Yarbrough just keep it in the park, get you 5 innings at 5K, could be really, really good. Sure, he'll be on a pitch count, so it is a little dicey. Lefties hit 330, righties 310 against him. But you have a Royals team with a 140 ISO, which is really, really bad for right-handed pitching. So a guy like Yarbrough at 5,000 is not the worst punt in the world. We've seen much worse, and we've tried him. So I don't mind Yarbrough at all. So down below, I got Sal Romano 1, Ryan Yarbrough 2, Junior Guerra 3. So 3 options. I don't really mind any of them down below if you want to mix and match. Let's recap your pitching real quick. You got Carrasco 1 and McCullers 2 up top. Down below, you got Anderson, Lucchesi, and Manaea in that middle 7 to 9K range. And then down below, Romano 1, Yarbrough 2, Junior Guerra 3. So interesting pitching options on an 8-game slate. Watch the weather to see who's in, who's out. But let's get to the bats. And before we do, let me talk to you about draft.com. Draft in your app store. Great way to play fantasy sports. Snake-style drafts, tons and tons of fun. Done in under 5 minutes. You get paid out the next day. You got baseball, football, hockey, basketball, golf. Golf was a blast with the players this week in the Byron Nelson. Heading to a new course down there in the Dallas area. So lots of fun there. Check out the Always Pressing pod as Jesse and I will be recording that tonight, dropping it for your wonderful listening pleasure to get you ready for that. But draft, it is awesome. Absolutely awesome. 1 pitcher, 1 DH/infield, or 2 DH/infield, 2 outfielders. Tons and tons of fun. And then for NFL, they got best ball drafts going on right now. All kinds of great stuff. If you guys are interested in running some, quick hits, listener league drafts, let me know. Hit me up. Slide into the DMs, slide into Slack chat, hit me with a message. And, a couple times a week, or we can put some out, and then maybe for NFL best ball, we'll throw some out there. But most importantly, when you make your first deposit, use promo code SDSports for entry into a free $3 tournament. Again, promo code SDSports for entry into a free $3 tournament. Tons of fun playing draft. Let's get to the bats on this slate, and you're going to have a bunch because you remember the totals. There were some great hitting environments. You got Wilson Ramos against Kansas City against Eric Skoglund, a guy you can tee off on. Tampa Bay has a total of 4.45. Lefties 399, righties 369, which is so nice, versus Eric Skoglund. So Wilson Ramos, we know he can mash lefties in a great spot. Salvi Perez, always worth a look at 3,800 hitting cleanup for a catcher is very, very nice. Max Stassi's up to $3,600. He's been hitting lefties really well for the Houston Astros. He had his last 3 starts, 8, 17, and 16. So he's swinging it really well. Going up against Andrew Heaney. Houston has a 4-1-5 team total. Lefties 295, but righties 397 versus Heaney. So you can definitely attack him from the right side of the plate. You go a little farther. Jan Gomes at 34 versus Fires isn't horrible. You look at Cleveland, they have one of the highest totals at 4.8. Lefties 350, righties 338. So you can get in on that action. But a little bit farther down, you got Evan Gattis, 3,200 versus Heaney. Gattis has gone off to a horrific start this year. We know he can mash left-handed pitching. It's what he's done, and he's homered in back-to-back games now. And I believe at least one yesterday's was off a lefty. I can't remember Saturday's for sure. I'm pretty sure it was. But he's really getting it done. The last couple, maybe it's a sign of life. $3,200 could take you to Ding Dong City for nice cheap. The farther down you go, you guys like Mitch Garver from Minnesota at 3K versus LeBlanc. Minnesota's got the highest team total on the slate, 4.85. LeBlanc, lefties 349, righties 337. Will be a fun target in that matchup, weather permitting. Manny Pena versus Corbin at 29 could be a punt. Tucker Barnhart at 29 versus Stratton could be a punt for you. Other than that, check your lineups as you will get some interesting ones coming out. First base, Edwin Encarnacion at 45 versus Fires. You don't hate it because lefties and righties can crush him, so he is in play. Joey Votto versus Stratton could be worth the look. Stratton's been a little hiccupy since his wife had the baby, but Cincinnati's got 3.8 total. Lefties 356, righties 347. Off Stratton, he's pitched better on the road than at home, which is really crazy too. That's pretty much the only reason why I didn't mention him tonight. He still could throw a gem because it's against the Reds who scuffle quite a bit. But Votto at 45 is in play. Ryan Healy at 41 is okay. We prefer him versus lefties. Jake Odorizzi has reverse splits. That's why I wanted to bring him up. I don't like Healy at 41. I liked him when he was more value. The Mariners have a 4-7 total. Lefties 322, righties 342. So you got the reverse splits with Odorizzi. But it's a little too pricey for the Healy part. If you want to play some Boston guys to fade Manaea, thinking, the last couple games he's scuffling, he might scuffle some more. Hanley Ramirez hits in the middle of that order, hits lefties really well. He's $4,000. Could be really, really a sneakier play there. Brandon Belt at 39 versus Romano. Belt continues to just hit really, really well and not get respected in the DraftKings pricing system. So he's in play, but you want some value. A guy like CJ Cron, big right-handed power, especially against lefties, going up against Eric Skoglund at $3,600. He had 5 points his last time out, but 21, 8, 8, 8. It's just consistent. Absolute consistency with CJ Cron. $3,600 for Skoglund could be a very nice play. Yuli Gurriel at 36 versus Heaney. Gurriel's heating up, hits lefties and righties to everybody. He's a really good pure just hitter. With 36 versus Heaney, do like that. Matt Olson and Yonder Alonso at 35. Nice plays here versus Porcello and Fires. Yonder a little more. The Indians are a big-time target of mine on this slate. And Alonso's been heating up. I've been mentioning the last few weeks, so definitely got to keep an eye on in that matchup. Could go to Ding Dong City. Farther down you go, take a look at your lineups because there might be a couple guys that pop up. Like a Chase Cuthbert for $2,900 for Kansas City's first base, third base. If you need to go there, you probably don't though because those mid-3 first basemen are very usable if you don't pay up top. Second base, you got Altuve at 48 versus the lefty Heaney. Altuve's just scuffling this year, but it's a good matchup for him if you want. But my guy, if you're paying all the way up, is Brian Dozier at 4,500 versus Wade LeBlanc. Dozier versus a lefty is cha-ching cash money. And again, the Twins have the highest total at 4.85. Lefty's 349, righty's 337. LeBlanc is garbage. So give me some Brian Dozier at $4,500. Absolutely love it. Go down to a guy like Jed Lowry at 41 versus Porcello. I don't hate it at all. Oakland does have a total of 4.2. Lefties 345, righties 312. So lefties can't get to Porcello. He had a rough start his last time out after pitching really, really well. So a guy like Lowry at 41 could be worth a look. Scooter Gennett at 4K as well. But you go down a little farther. If Alan Hansen gets in the lineup, he's 37 for the Giants. But Jason Kipnis 35 versus Matt Fires is a very solid look for you there. Don't hate that at all. Eduardo Nunez 3,200, not the best play, but very cheap second base shortstop versus Minaya. Jose Perella 31 versus Anderson as a cheapie isn't bad either. Hernan Perez at 3K as well. Some nice cheaper options there for you. Going over to the third base position, you got Arenado versus lefty at 51. Obviously not in Coors, so not as tasty, but it's nice. But Jose Ramirez at 5K versus Fires, I like as my top guy at this price point. He has been just crushing baseballs. Had a big, big weekend. He's heating up after that slow start where people were worried. His last few games, 34, then a 0, but then 19, 19, 14. 14 or more points in 4 of his last 5. He's just fine. Don't mind him at all. You got to switch hit Eduardo Escobar for Minnesota as well at 4,400. Third base shortstop eligible, so he is in play for you there. Moustakas at 42 versus Yarborough is a nice cheapie. Just remember with Kansas City, you're going to get a lot of bullpen too, so it's not always going to be as tasty as it looks, but they still could they could feast. But you'll get a lot of bullpen in that game, so you're not just targeting the starting pitcher in that matchup. Kyle Seager at 4K versus Odorizzi is in play for you there. Alex Bregman does hit lefties well. He's 3,800 versus Heaney. Bregman's price hasn't really jumped much this year either, so he's definitely got to keep an eye on in that price range. Christian Villanueva for San Diego, he mashes lefties. He's 3,500. He has gone, cold of late. Definitely very, very cold. Faced a lot of righties last week, so maybe that has something to do with it, or maybe the regression bug has just sat in because he has a game of 4 and a game of 2 points in his last 10. The rest are all zeros. So he has hit the struggle bus in a big, big way at $3,500. Keep that in mind. It's not the auto play it was when he was on fire. Guy like Matt Duffy at 32. He's been swinging it pretty decent for Tampa Bay since returning from the DL. Facing the lefty Skoglund. Not a bad matchup for him. If you just look at game logs, 5, 21, 8, and 10 in his last 4. At $3,200, he could do much, much worse in these matchups. Daniel Descalso, 3K versus Junior Guerra. Something to keep an eye on as well. Shortstop, Lindor at 53 is outstanding. This guy just continues to crush. I love a Lindor Ramirez 1-2 punch, Lindor Ramirez Brantley, throw Kipnis. There's a bunch of ways to go, but start with Lindor and Ramirez, and everybody else might too, which is fine. I love these bats as long as the weather stays out of the way. I see them having a big night versus Fires yet again. This is just too good of a spot to be in. But if you don't go there, a guy like Carlos Correa, 4,600 versus Andrew Heaney is a good spot. Correa went deep on Sunday, another good spot for him here. Eduardo Escobar at 44. Xander Bogaerts, 4,100 versus Sean Manaea as another option for you up top. You go down a little lower, guys like Marcus Semien at 38's been hitting it well. Gene Segura at 39. Those aren't bad either. Jose Peraza, 3,600 for Stratton. If he's hitting towards the top of the order, usually hitting second is not a bad look. Brandon Crawford at 32. Don't hate that either. Alcides Escobar has been decent of late at 3K. I don't hate it as a punt option. Denny Echeverria from the right side versus Skoglund at 29 can be a good play, especially every once in a blue moon, especially against lefties. They put him towards the top of the order, which would increase that value tremendously. Let's head to the outfield. You got Betts at 58. Always love some Mookie. Trout at 57 versus McCullers. Can be Betts over Trout, but both are always going to be great plays. JD Martinez versus lefty at 5K, not bad either. I'm reading up today. He strikes out like 33 or 34% of the time versus lefties, which is nuts. But what that also tells me, there's a reason why he crushes lefties, because he's going for broke, which is what you want in DraftKings. You don't really care about those 3 strikeouts if that fourth at bat goes a yard. Got AJ Pollock at 49, not bad. Eddie Rosario at 47, I do like a little bit, because I expect some Seattle bullpen. I think Minnesota gets all over LeBlanc. You go down farther, like D. Gordon at 44 is okay. Chris Davis crushing it right now. Lefties and righties at 4,300. Keep him in mind. But Michael Brantley's only 4,200. Like him a part of that Cleveland offense a lot. Definitely in play for you there. You go down farther, a guy like Jorge Soler at 41 is in play. Mitch Haniger at 41. Not too shabby as well. Lorenzo Cain at 39 versus Corbin, I like a lot. I respect Corbin a ton, but if this velocity drop is legit and it's a concern, righties can't hit Corbin, so low Cain at 39 can be really nice. I don't even mind Yelich at 39. I prefer Cain, but Yelich, not bad either. Guy like David Peralta at 38 versus Garrett could be in play for you as well. Carlos Gomez at Tampa Bay, 3,800 versus Scotland, a nice cheapy option there in that matchup. You drive down a little farther, you got guys like, let's see what we got here. It's not a ton. Maybe a Max Kepler at 35, but Domingo Santana is only 3,400 versus Corbin. And Milwaukee's coming out of Coors. Sometimes that affects teams differently, so beware. He had a nice little Sunday. Hopefully he starts heating up a 3-hit game on Sunday. Be good to get Domingo Santana back to normal, so maybe jump on him while he's cheap at 3,400. If you're targeting Corbin, he's in play. Guy like Dustin Fowler at 34 is not horrible versus Porcello. Wish he wasn't batting 9th. That would be a big start. Scott Schebler at 34 versus Stratton. Alex Gordon at 3,300 versus Yarborough is also a nice cheapie there. If you trust Billy Hamilton, he's only 33, so you get some value on that one. Joey Winker leading off versus Stratton at 32, so the Reds are really, really cheap for Stratton. If you think Stratton has a hiccup, you can get a real nice value there, but he's more of a quality starts type guy. Again, Jose Perella and Hernan Perez, 31 and 3K respectively. You got Matt Joyce, bats second versus righties. He's 3K versus Porcello. I don't hate that at all as a punt play. He's got that boomer bust upside. His last 3 games, he had 2, but then 6, 19, 7, 2, 0, 10. He's got that boomer bust upside at 3K. Like him quite a bit. Mentioned him on Friday when he was playing Gray in the Slack chat as we were breaking down the slate towards lock. And I mentioned him as a nice cheap option. He had that big 19-point game. That was a good spot for him versus Gray. I don't like it as much today versus Porcello, but I still don't mind it if you're looking to punt because the upside is there for sure. Gregor Blanco likely leading off versus Romano at 3K is in play. You got guys like Robbie Grossman at 3K, Byron Buxton at 3K versus LeBlanc, both worth a look depending on where they are in the lineup. And then you'll have many, many more as you go down the cheapy list here, but check back in as lineups come in. Come join us in the Sports Degen Slack chat. Lots of good talk going on there. Some days more active than others, but it all depends on what you guys want to do. I'm not going to sit there and just talk to myself, so the more you guys want to get involved, the better it is. But that does it for your quick hits. Let's recap your pitching real quick. Up top, you got Carrasco 1, McCullers 2. In the middle, Tyler Anderson, Joey Lucchesi, Sean Manaea, and then down below, Sal Romano, Ryan Yarborough, Junior Guerra. Let's look at your BVP for tonight's slate to get you ready to go. No one has faced the pitchers in Tampa Bay and Kansas City. Keep that in mind. Jose Iglesias, 9 for 28, 5 doubles versus Carlos Carrasco. Yonder Alonso, told you I kind of liked him. He's 6 for 14, 2 doubles off Mike Fiers. But as a team, they're at 268 with a 736 OPS and a 325 WOBA versus Fiers. That's pretty good. Mookie Betts, 4 for 11 with a triple and 2 homers off Sean Manaea. Han Ram's taking him deep twice as well. If he does it twice, then that'd be damn impressive. Nelly Cruz, 7 for 20 with a double and a homer off Jake Odorizzi. Seager and Haniger have taken him deep as well. Domingo Santana, he's only 1 for 2 with a home run off of Corbin, so keep that in mind. as a cheapie we talked about there. Is that about it for the BVP slow night? It's about all you got there for BVP. Remember, the lineups to target, your top totals so far. Twins, Indians, surprisingly the Red Sox, the Mariners, the Royals. I like that Twins and Indians quite a bit against LeBlanc and Fires. Guys you can really look at there. The Rays can be really nice for Skoglund. Don't hate that as well. So there's definitely some targets there. Then, the Astros do have a low total versus Heaney, but the righties are just destroying Heaney, almost hitting 400 off of them. And the Astros are quietly heating up, so keep them in mind as well. But the Indians, I like a ton. Sprinkle some Dozier and the Twins in there, and rock and roll. So there you have it. MLB DFS Quick Hits Monday, May 14th edition in the books. Check us out, thesportsdegens.com, at thesportsdegens. Again, recording the always pressing PGA DFS pod tonight. Go check out Around the Bases with Bubba and Mo, episode 63. We talked to our buddy STL Cup of Joe, and we talked to Alan Yamashigi of the Dodgers Digest. Tons of good stuff there. Check out Bench with Bubba, episode 93 with Colby Conway at Fantasy Alarm and Big Guy Fantasy Sports. Talking fantasy baseball. Lots of fun there as well. And then we got, I did a guest spot on our good buddy, the Welsh and Scott Bogman show at ITL. Great stuff there talking fantasy baseball. Go check out that. It's already in your iTunes store this morning. So I had a blast talking with those guys. I've had them both on Bench with Bubba, and I've had Welsh also on Around the Bases. Two great guys, funny guys. If you guys could have heard the stuff we said before and after the recording, it was great as well. So go check that out. They're super awesome guys that work their butts off in this industry. So go check them out, support them. But hit me up on Twitter at BDintric with any questions you have. And more importantly, come in the Slack chat, help each other out. Keep growing things because we're doing some good things over there. Guys are winning some cash. So good luck on your Monday slate. This was Quick Hits, MLB DFS Quick Hits, May 14th edition. I'm out.